today. We have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. We're going to kick off first with some Meraki Go overview. I have a recording that I did with James Wilson a little while back. It was actually just before COVID hit, and we're excited to present it to you now. Over the past year, Meraki Go added some extra product, both in security and switching. So it's a really nice product to open with a customer that maybe wants to take care of their own stuff. So we're going to cover some of that. And then we have an exciting product release with the Meraki Sensors. We're going to cut into that, and then we'll hang around and do a live chat with everybody. But I do want to mention a couple things. The Meraki Go's not in Canada yet. It looks like we have a couple friends up there. Not sure when that's going to release, but definitely stick around. The Meraki Sensors are going to be right in your neighborhood just as soon as we have them as well. So we're going to get jumping into things. Do stick around. We have 60 signs for the lucky winners. You do have to stick around for a good 45 minutes for that, and 60 of you will ship out a stein after the broadcast. So stick around. We're going to jump into the meeting here with James and myself. So with the access point specifically, we have a couple of different versions of this, don't we?
Yeah, so with the Meraki Go solution, we do have an indoor and an outdoor access point. We also have new product additions with a full network switching portfolio, as well as a security gateway and firewall.
Very nice. That's excellent. Now, with the Meraki Go product, it's a little bit different than the standard Meraki, I believe. Is a subscription license required for this?
So it is a little bit different with some variances, but it's also very much the same. So with the Meraki Go product specifically, you don't have any sort of licensing or subscription requirement, but all of the traditional benefits that you're used to, like tech support and updates, are still included with the devices. So no additional required, but all the benefits are still there.
Very nice. Okay, yeah. So we take it out of the box, set it up. What's kind of our first step to get this going, since we're not putting in a license key?
Yeah.
What do we do?
What do we do? Yeah, so great question. First and foremost with Meraki Go, everything is all inclusive. And it is 100% cloud managed via the Meraki Go Mobile App. So with that, you download the Meraki Go Mobile App, you sign up, create an account, and then each one of the Meraki Go hardware devices actually has a QR code on it. That QR code allows for easy device enrollment via the mobile app. So once you create your account in the mobile app, you scan the QR codes, the devices, and everything else that's required loads right up into your account. You can get right back to work quick and easy.
That's fantastic. So we buy the box, we have everything that we need to get started. Scan a couple quick QR codes. We have the dashboard is active at that point, and we can go in and configure everything, and we're off to the races.
Off to the races.
Fantastic. Yeah. Why don't we take a look at the dashboard and see what Wi-Fi looks
for sure.
Like from that side?
Let's take a look real quick. So with the Meraki Go mobile app, we are looking at the home screen right now. And with the Meraki Go mobile app, there's very much uniformities and consistencies, just like with the Cisco Meraki dashboard. So first and foremost, you've got the navigation toolbar, so you can actually click in and look at your networks, your hardware devices, and then you've got advanced settings for a lot of other things that you can dive into and utilize. But from a foundational standpoint, once you scan the devices, you'll see green indicator lights. You'll notice that each one of the hardware product families is sitting in a single pane of glass-ish view. So you have everything in one place, fully managed with the Meraki Go mobile app, and you can do and see everything that you need, from security measures, how many devices are connected to the network, what devices are using most of my bandwidth, what applications are being used, and you can even contact support right there from the home screen.
And for powering the devices, how do we light this thing up once we actually get it plugged in?
The great thing about Meraki Go, as I kind of mentioned before, is everything is included, right? So that software and the licensing additional requirement is not there, but all the benefits continue to sit within the box. Same thing when it comes to actually powering it up and plugging it in. So for example, with the Meraki Go indoor access point, in the box you get an AC power adapter, you get an Ethernet port as well, you get mounting kit, mounting hardware, everything that you need to be able to set this up is included in the box. So you have all your power supplies with every Meraki Go piece of hardware.
That's fantastic, and that doesn't always happen with product. This is very inclusive.
It does not. It does not. But we're building for the small business owner, and the small business owner doesn't have time to go back and think about, oh, I forgot my power supply, I forgot my SFP, I forgot everything. You know, we provide the base level of what you need right there in the box, so they can get right back to running their business.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I'm setting up an office, and I want to put in maybe 3, 4 of these, and we're going to actually put them in the ceiling rather than anywhere we can access a power, a power source on the wall. Your new switch line, we can actually power the APs with those, can't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the Meraki Go network switches are phenomenal because we have an 8-port, 24-port, and 48-port option, nice. PoE and non-PoE, and the switches are priced appropriately, just like the rest of the equipment, for the small business customer. So if you need to throw up 5 or 6 access points, no problem at all. The Meraki Go switches will let you set those up, power them as you need to, and deploy them wherever you need throughout the business. But you've got the options of the switches. If you have a smaller deployment, maybe you only have a couple of access points, the Meraki Go security gateway and firewall actually has a PoE port, 3 additional LAN ports. Okay. So you can utilize that and not have to go into the additional costs if you don't need to.
Excellent. So if we have a really small deployment, we can do this. If we want to put a 15, 16 of these access points, we can buy one of the switches and take care of it that way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very nice.
And while we're sitting here with the box, this is our Meraki Go security gateway. We can actually take it out of the box and show you exactly what's included if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm very excited about this one.
So as you'll see, the Meraki Go box is a little bit of a fashion-forward statement. So it's meant to be, just like you're used to with Meraki, a great experience when you take it out of the box. So with the Cisco Meraki product lines, we do have everything in the box. So when you open it up, first thing you see is very nicely packaged. You take it out, and you've got your quick start guide. So when I take that quick start guide, it's going to give me the basics of everything that I need to set it up, step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I've got my firewall. I also have multiple Ethernet cables.
Very nice.
And you've got your power supply. So you've got everything that you need to get your network set up your Wi-Fi, create your network, and get back to business. But every Meraki Go piece of equipment has everything that you need, fully inclusive, in the box.
And like the access points, this is going to have a QR code on it. We scan that real quick.
Yeah.
And it shows up on our dashboard.
Pops up right into the app. On the back of the Meraki Go security gateway, you'll see a QR code. You pop the app open, you scan that QR code, and then everything gets enrolled for you automatically. Super easy.
Now with the security device, we actually have some added security features above and beyond what the access point can do. It has some built in.
We do.
But if we want to look out for anti-malware, intrusion protection, any sort of that stuff, what do we have access to in the dashboard for that?
So with the Meraki Go security gateway, we set everything up for you so that it's going to work seamlessly out of the box.
Nice.
But we found out that many small business owners, they really care about security. More than 53% of small business owners feel like security is a top priority.
It's a big concern.
It's a big concern, right? Whether it's phishing emails, whether it's sites, malicious sites, there's a lot of different things that small business owners have to take into consideration. A breach for a small business could be catastrophic. So how do we take more robust security and keep that simplistic mindset? We've taken Cisco Umbrella, and we have built a fully automated optional subscription for Meraki Go. So I'll show you what that looks like, but it's a super easy, one-click, enable, disable for anti-malware, anti-phishing, and C2C callbacks.
So you just turned all of that on.
So I can turn it off and turn it on.
Very nice.
And what happens is it automates all those things for me. It sits right here in the front of my home screen. And if I want to actually check and see, I can get a little bit more information about what security events actually occurred.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have, now will we see warnings as well if something comes through and has attacked the system by chance, or?
Yeah, so you'll see the same kind of thing that you saw with the device count and the high usage device. You'll get high event devices.
Okay.
So for instance, if Jeff is not only watching a lot of YouTube, but he's clicking on a bunch of phishing emails, you're going to get a notification right there in the home screen so that you know who your most abuser
Who likes to click on stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Now, how does this scale? What kind of scale are we looking at here? How many users?
Yep.
How many access points? What do we do?
Great question. Great question. So the Meraki Go solution is built for small businesses. And when we say small businesses, that can be a pretty broad generalization. But specifically, Meraki Go is ideal for sub 50 employee companies.
Okay.
And Meraki Go is ideal for single location companies. So if you have a small business, less than 50 employees, a single location, Meraki Go is probably going to be a perfect fit. But it does scale up above and beyond that, right?
Okay.
We suggest up to 50 users, but we can't dictate what a small business owner's final decision is for making a purchase. With Meraki Go, you do have the ability to scale up. So one security gateway, as many ports as you need to plug in as many devices as you need, and then up to 20 access points.
Very nice.
Yeah, so you can actually build out a pretty large footprint.
Very good. So if I have a coffee shop with multiple rooms and little quiet areas in the back, now what's the point that we reach that we should be looking at a standard Meraki solution over Meraki Go?
Yep, great question. Great question. So Meraki Go is going to be wonderful to be able to scale for small businesses, but at some point as small businesses grow, they get to the point of inflection where they have to look and say, I need a bigger, better solution. I need more integrations, APIs, customizations, things like that. So when we get above those 20 access points, that's kind of a general, notification of this is probably going to be a good time to have the conversation around dashboard.
Okay.
A big benefit to any of the partners deploying Meraki Go networks is that it's going to be a much easier conversation to transition to the dashboard.
Right.
From another solution. They'll be comfortable with the brand, they'll be comfortable with the performance that they've gotten out of it and the support. So that's kind of something that we want to take into consideration as well, is that all of these small business customers could also potentially be future dashboard customers. But when we get over the 20 access points, when we get up to 100 users, that's really where somebody should be looking at the Meraki dashboard solution.
Okay, very good. So they can start here. They've had a very successful couple of years. At this point, they're very familiar with the Meraki name. They already have a system. They're used to the cloud management. And you as a reseller may even be providing that management for them because you can access the dashboard for them as well.
Exactly.
And then when you move to the dashboard, to the standard Meraki dashboard, it makes it that much easier when you've really scaled to a large company.
Yeah. For sure. And to your point, you called out something, really great. With the Meraki Go solution, you as a reseller, you may be managing that solution for the customer. You may be helping them with support and things like that. And you have full capabilities to do that with the Meraki Go mobile app. You can manage users. You can manage your customers' networks from anywhere. You can manage your customers' networks with multiples, all done easily through the mobile app.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much, James, for going over the Meraki Go product line with us. Again, this is a really nice entry-level product line. I see a lot of questions from you folks, so we'll answer those in the live Q&A after this is over. But it's a great product line, especially for someone that you don't necessarily need to manage all the time. It's not strictly an MSP product. It really is an across-the-shelf, more like a value-added resale product. We're going to jump into the Meraki Sensors now, so I'm very excited about this. We have the network security with Meraki. Now we have physical security. So you have all this expensive equipment that's in your closets and everything like that, and we don't want to have those ruined by excessive temperatures, water, humidity, anything like that. And all of this can be monitored now by Meraki in the same dashboard that you use to manage your switches and security devices and stuff like that. So we're going to jump into this real quick. We have a couple people helping us out here. Chris Meyer caught up with Mark Jacobs from Cisco. So they're going to chat real quick about the overall product line, let us know what's going on there. And then we do have a demo at the end of this video by Sarah Lynn. She's a product manager with Meraki. And so she'll go through some of the features that you can that you have available to you with this product. So we're going to cut over to the video now and hang tight. We'll meet up with live questions afterwards.
Hello, my name is Christopher Meyer, and I'm a pre-sales engineer here for Cisco at D&H, and we're going to be talking about the Meraki sensors. And joining us here today is Mark Jacobs.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for having me today. It's, again, a privilege of joining this exciting webcast to talk about a very exciting Meraki product launch the Meraki sensors.
Excellent. So these are new product just released and designed to help protect a customer's investment in their network. I know there are 3 new sensors, one for humidity, one for water detection, and another for intrusion detection. And can you tell us how these sensors will connect to the Meraki network?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like you said, we have 3 Meraki sensors, the MT10, the MT12, and the MT20. So all sensors are very simplistic on connecting to the Meraki dashboard, just like any of the typical Meraki devices. As long as these devices have an internet connection, they'll be able to connect to the Meraki cloud. And in that cloud, I simply claim them using either my serial number, or if I have multiple MT devices, I can use the order number and claim all these devices in bulk. And it takes literally maybe 3 to 4 or 5 minutes to get these up and running into the Meraki dashboard.
Well, that's great. It's glad to hear that they're maintaining the Meraki drive towards simplicity. Now, I know in some of the places I've worked in the past, these sensors could have been a real lifesaver. One of the places I worked was a school district, and they were renovating old buildings and putting in networking gear. So, of course, there was no dedicated networking closets. We had split AC units that would freeze up, drip onto equipment from time to time, and cause a significant amount of damage. So it's very exciting to hear about these products. Can you tell us what happens when a sensor detects such as like water or humidity changes or temperature?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's multiple things that can happen depending on how the administrator configured the triggers on these sensors. So you can do some basic functionality such as email alerts, SMS text messages through the trigger mechanism through the dashboard. So in this use case scenario, to go by your example, Chris, perfect use case is protecting your network your closet at that school. So a lot of these schools have network closets that possibly have, hundreds and $1,000s worth of networking gear. But till today, there's really no way to actually physically monitor the physical infrastructure in that networking closet. So with these 3 sensors, I can actually very simply, stick a water sensor on the bottom of the rack to monitor the water environment in this network closet. And I can do that and then set that up in a matter of seconds using the simplicity of dashboard. So that's an excellent use case and an excellent example that you mentioned, Chris.
That's great. A product like that would allow a customer to be proactive rather than having to solve the issue afterwards.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but in my old networking engineering days, I used to kind of have nightmares just around, hey, what happens if a flood happens, or if my cooling HVAC system stopped working in my networking closet. It would, keep me up at night. So now this kind of eliminates those potential nightmares for those engineers, where they can sleep easy at night and rest ensured that their physical environment where their networking gear is held is safe from any potential hazardous environments out there.
Yeah, it's very true. It's much better than coming in on Monday morning and finding out that it's been over temp or has water leaking on it all weekend long.
Absolutely. It really definitely helps ease your mind.
Now, these have the standard license terms of 1, 3, and 5, 7, and 10 years, correct?
That is correct. Just like the other Meraki devices, the licensing is same. So each device carries a license, and that license can be broken out into 1, 3, 5, and 10-year increments. But we also have a promotion going on. It's called the First Year on Us promotion. So if you do decide to buy a license, we will throw 365 days free with any of your licenses purchased.
It's a great value. Now, I know Meraki is well known for their APIs that allow customers to get a lot more value than even delivered by the dashboard. Do you know much about I know these are a very new product, but do you know much about the APIs for these?
Absolutely. And, that's really such a great point and such a really good opportunity for any VAR out there in the market today. So if you're a VAR that is kind of looking to step outside of your typical hardware resale business and looking to get more into a SaaS practice or maybe a software development practice, a Meraki solution or the Meraki platform is probably the easiest way to start that practice. So like you mentioned, Chris, all of the networking devices and the Meraki platform is based on an open API platform. So just like the MVs or the wireless access points, the MTs are based on that same platform. So all the data that's being populated and aggregated from the sensor to that dashboard can be ported out from an API into an own widget, into your own software platform that you guys have for either ticketing cases or for visibility, or maybe a widget for your end users, just to see what's happening in their environment. So that's a huge opportunity that we kind of see today for branching out into new markets and finding new opportunities.
Excellent. That sounds great. And just like the rest of Meraki, it is very scalable as well, correct? One license, one device, 1,000 devices per network?
That is correct. Yes, it's very scalable, can have up to 1,000 of these sensors in one network. So plenty of room for expansion. Absolutely. Good point, Chris.
Great. And they're available both with the default co-termination model and with the per device licensing model as well.
Very true. So yes, so recently Meraki added some flexibility into their license scheme. So we gave our partners the option to either license based off a yearly increment or co-termination per device licensing. So now we give our partners and our customers more options based on the way they use their license.
And to power these, they don't require any exterior power, right? They run off of batteries. Can you tell us about how long that a customer should expect that battery to last?
Yes, so each of these sensors has two double batteries, so it's very easily field replaceable. The battery life is estimated to be around 5 years, but we also give you an option to get notifications within the dashboard when the batteries are getting low. So you can be proactively to change out any batteries that can be somewhat low in a proactive manner. So about 5 years, which is probably the best out there in the market today when you're looking at the sensor product line.
Great. And when a customer wants to mount these, what type of installation do they have to do? Are we looking at drilling holes into racks, or how do we get those mounted?
That's a really good question, Chris. So there are actually 3 options to mounting these sensors. The first option is a magnet option. So you can actually use this on any steel surface. The second option is the sticky two-sided tape option. So it comes with sticky two-sided tape where you can actually use that tape on pretty much any surface. And the third option is pre-mounted drill holes. So you can take those drill holes, use your provided screws, and drill these in place to any surface you would like. It's a great question.
That's great. It sounds like Meraki has thought ahead again for solving problems, as we know that is what Meraki's focus is.
Very good point, and I might add, in a very simple and easy way, and that is really the true magic of Meraki.
Hey, thanks, Mark. That's a lot of great information on these new products. Is there anything else that we should know?
Yeah, I think one important point to talk about is the gateways needed for these sensors. So our sensors are Bluetooth capable, and you need a Bluetooth gateway. And it so happens that all of our Wi-Fi 6 APs and our second generation Meraki Vision cameras already have that gateway built in. So these sensors are compatible today with any of our Wi-Fi 6 APs and our second generation MV cameras. So when deploying these sensors, that's the only requirement as far as compatible hardware on the Meraki side that you need.
Well, that's great. It sounds like Meraki has continued their effort of engineering everything together to work in a seamless ecosystem.
So true, Chris. And just to go with Meraki, with everything Meraki, very simple, very simplistic. Deploy these solutions in a matter of minutes, and it doesn't take a engineering team to deploy, configure, and manage these devices. So very good opportunity to our VARs, and it even leaves more opportunities to branch off to additional practices like API development and maybe even a managed service practice on managing all this networking hardware in one single pane of glass.
Well, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the time today.
Hi, I'm Sarah Lynn, Product Marketing Manager at Meraki, and I'm going to show you a quick demo of the new MT sensors. So we're on the sensor overview page now, and there are two other pages you can navigate to: Sensors and Alert Profiles. The main overview page provides a quick look at the device status. You can see how many are offline, warning, online, or dormant. Next, it'll give you an overview of the sensors that are currently alerting. So you can see we have none alerting for temperature and humidity, but one alerting for water detection, and no alert been configured for door open or close. Finally, at the bottom, we have alert profiles. So you can see we have two different profiles configured for water leak and MS operating environment. You can see we've got two sensors for each profile and one recipient subscribed to each profile. We'll talk more about alerts shortly, but first let's look into the details for one of the sensors. So we're going to go up to the top of the page and click the Sensors tab, and now we're looking at our list of sensors. Just like everything else in Meraki, you can configure this depending on what you would like to see, so you can go ahead and add and remove columns as needed. You can also search for sensors based on a variety of different attributes like status, name, metric, and more. To view details for a specific sensor, all you need to do is click into it. And now we're looking at the sensor details. So since this sensor has alerts configured for it, you can see the threshold levels for the minimum and maximum before it alerts for both temperature and humidity. If we scroll over any of these, you can see the detailed reading for that specific time period. And of course, you can adjust this for the last 2 hours or to look up to the last month. On the left side, we see details about the sensor, the model, MAC address, serial number, as well as battery health, and the alert profiles that are assigned to it. If we go down to the bottom, we can look at gateway connectivity, which provides information that can be helpful in troubleshooting failed connections. So now let's talk about alerts. MT sensors make it easy to set up alerts with custom thresholds so users can be notified when an issue is detected. And there are a few different places that you can configure alerts, including right here for individual sensors. But if we go up to the sensors and over to the alert profiles page, on the overview cards, you can see the details for each alert. So temperature above 40 degrees Celsius or below 10 degrees Celsius, or water leak is detected. From here, we can edit an existing alert or add a new alert. For each alert that we configure, we name it, and then we can add conditions. So for temperature and humidity sensors, we can add temperature is above or below certain thresholds. And for the water leak and open close sensor, we can specify if we want to be alerted if water is detected or a door is opened or closed. If we go down to the bottom here, then we configure notifications. And this is one of the coolest things about the MT sensors. It's really easy to configure email or SMS alerts here. Just enter the email address, no need to set up any email servers, or enter the phone number that you want to get a text message alert to. Now, I can't show you on the dashboard, but we also have the option for push notifications on the new Meraki mobile app, or to get alerts however you would like them using webhooks. Once you've configured your alert, you'd want to save it or update if you have edited an existing alert. And then to go ahead and apply your alerts to sensors, you can go back to the sensors page, select the devices that you want to apply that alert to, come over to click More Actions, manage alert profiles, and select the alert profile that you want to apply to these devices. Now let's see what this looks like in action. I'm going to show you a quick video of an MT alert event and give you an idea about what's possible using APIs and video to quickly validate or investigate sensor events. So here we see an MV camera feed of Anthony, our MT product manager, as he comes into his house. Because Anthony has an MT20 set up on his front door, he gets an alert both via push notification on the Meraki mobile app and text message. Since we built MT with an API-first mindset, Anthony has used the APIs built into the Meraki platform to embed a snapshot from the MV feed directly into the text alert, so you can easily see what's happening at the time of the event.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much, Sarah Lynn, Chris, and Mark. That was a great overview of those products. I wanted to show you guys really quick. These actually just landed on our dock this week. I have a couple of the Meraki sensors. So this here is the MT10. That's your humidity and temperature sensor. And then we have the intrusion sensor as well, with the one module that fits on one side of your door or entryway, and the other sensor itself. One important thing to point out here is that with a lot of these traditional sensors, the magnets, you can hold a magnet up to it sometimes and override it. This will actually detect that and let you know that. So it sets an alarm if someone tries to bypass this sensor. So they've really thought of a lot of stuff with this. And then finally, I'll show you really quick the water sensor, just so you have an idea and size for that. This is the little dongle on the bottom here. And then you have about a 2-meter cable that comes with the water sensor at the bottom there. This does also include cable clips, so you can mount it down the wall, make everything look sharp. So I wanted to show you those real quick, and we're going to hop into the questions now. Let me pull those up. We're going to hit some Meraki Go questions first, and then we'll jump into some of the sensor questions. Let's see here. Now, the one quick question from Nalit. Will you cover the E-rate portion for Meraki? That is a great question. It's a fantastic program for discounting and education. Contact our Cisco specialist team for that. We'll talk about how to get a hold of them after this, but they can get you set up for that. Meraki Go doesn't specifically fit for that, but the traditional Meraki product line does. Let's see. I do have one question here for you, James. Is the Meraki Go product going to be available in Canada?
So we are working as hard as we can to get the Meraki Go products available in Canada. We're currently working with Meraki leadership to try and nail down a date. So unfortunately, nothing that I can share right now, but actively working to make sure that the products are available as soon as possible.
Okay, thanks, James. One more for you here. The dashboard.meraki.com, that's traditionally where we go for Meraki product. Does that work with the Meraki Go sensors?
For the sensors, it does, but I think you mean for the Meraki Go products.
Meraki Go product, yeah.
No worries. No worries. The Meraki Go products are not managed through dashboard.meraki.com. The dashboard.meraki.com is specifically for managing the Meraki Enterprise product lines, MX, MR, MS, etc. For the Meraki Go products, the mobile app, the Meraki Go mobile app, is the way to utilize cloud management with the devices.
Okay, yeah, and that's available on Android, iOS. So any of those devices are going to be able to manage. Mark, quick question I'm going to send your direction this time. When you say 100% cloud managed, do you mean that it's impossible to configure the device locally?
No, sir, not impossible. So there is a local status page on all of our Meraki devices, and you can do simple things like assigning a static IP. There are some basic troubleshooting tools like ping and ARP, but not much outside of that. So to do your complete management is through the Meraki dashboard.
Okay, so that's very much like the standard Meraki product where you have some initial settings you can do, and then most of that you want to do in the cloud interface.
You got it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Quick question from Ken. We'll go back to James for this one. Do the Meraki Go devices support PoE? And I saw someone else that asked if they supported PoE Plus as well. So let's cover both of those.
Yes. So the Meraki Go switches do have PoE plus the PoE option for each one, the 8, 48, and 28 ports. So there's 6 options with the switches. You have your choice of port count, and then you also have your choice of PoE or non-PoE. And then the Meraki Go access points are PoE enabled, so you can power those through PoE with the gateway, with the switches, and you can also utilize mesh.
Okay, excellent. And this is actually a new development. James, we're going to go back to you again on this one. How does Meraki Go work for MSPs?
Yep, great question. So currently there is, to reiterate, there's no URL-based management platform with the Meraki Go products specifically. So not only is dashboard.meraki.com only for the enterprise products, but there is no URL-based management platform for the Meraki Go products at this time. So for MSPs, the ideal motion of a single dashboard to manage is not in place for the products. But in the Meraki Go mobile app, we have taken into consideration for managing multiple organizations, managing multiple customers, utilizing an MSP type of motion, if you will. So multi-org, multi-admin, simultaneous login, multi-login, all of that is enabled and capable of setting up with the Meraki Go mobile app.
Nice. I'm thrilled that's been added. That's a great feature for a lot of folks. Now, Chris, I'm going to send one your direction here. Can other networking equipment be used with Meraki Go? Like if someone has an older switch from another company, but they want to leave that in place for now for budget or otherwise, is the Meraki Go going to work with that?
Oh, certainly. It is a standards-based network, so they will work. Now, of course, you won't be able to manage the other vendor equipment in, using the management interface. But yes, there is no problem with packets going through the network between different vendors.
Perfect. All right. Question from Bill here. Are NFR units available for this product line? Quick answer on that. The Meraki Go, there isn't. The pricing is already very good on that. So we don't have NFR on that product line, but the Meraki Sensors, if you want to look at those as well, that does have a NFR program on it. So you can contact, again, our specialist team for that. They can get you set up with that special pricing. Let's see here. Are Meraki Go devices tied to a specific device or app? Can they be managed remotely from other PCs? We'll go back to you for this one, James.
Yeah, so you do have to be using the Meraki Go mobile app if you want to cloud manage any of the Meraki Go devices. You do also have the ability to manage locally. They all have a local status page, so you can do that option as well. But as far as utilizing another app or a URL-based desktop motion, that's not an option for Meraki Go right now. So you will have to use the Meraki Go mobile app either on a mobile device or a tablet.
Okay. Now on the security devices too, another question here on those. Do we have LTE backup available on those right now?
No LTE backup on the security gateway right now. There's also no kind of all-in-one box where it's a security gateway plus wireless. It would be 3 separate devices or 2 separate devices depending on the needs there, but no LTE backup at this time.
Okay. All right. No problem at all there. Let's see. Let's jump over to a sensor question here. I want to get into some of those. A question from Jim. Can you expand on how the sensor connects to the internet? Back to you on that one, Chris.
The sensor will connect using Bluetooth Low Energy and can connect either through one of the APs or the 2nd generation cameras.
Perfect. Excellent. And I want to actually add one little bit to that. With a lot of the other sensors on the market, you end up buying a specific gateway for those sensors, and that can be a fairly expensive purchase. With the Meraki, if you have a Wi-Fi 6 AP already in place or one of the 2nd generation cameras, those act as that gateway. So there's no extra hardware that you need to add if you already have those items there. So it's a really nice way that they've built that in, and it's using a small Bluetooth feature that's been there and it isn't used by many people, but now it's hit the mainstream Meraki product here. Let's see here. Mark, let's send this one over to you. Can the Meraki sensor alerts integrate with well-known RMM platforms used by MSPs such as SolarWinds, Naval, any of those?
In a way, you would do that integration via the API and webhooks. So if those platforms have the capability of doing APIs, you can absolutely port that data back over to those platforms.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one, actually. So, Chris, back to you on this one again. How is the Meraki sensor? How is that better than using the UPS environmental sensors that they already have deployed without license needs? Is there some advantage to moving those over to Meraki?
Sure. With the Meraki sensors, you will get visibility within the same single pane of glass dashboard as the rest of your Meraki enterprise network. Plus, they are open with the APIs into the dashboard. So that is going to give you a lot of flexibility in what you can do when those events are triggered.
All right, excellent. Let's see here. Let's jump back to Meraki Go real quick. For James, is there VPN on the Meraki Go product?
So Meraki's two-click VPN is not enabled on the Meraki Go products. We are continuing to build out features. We take the Make-A-Wish request the same way that you're kind of used to. VPN has definitely been a feature that we've had a lot of requests for. So we're continuing to evolve the product and expand the capabilities, but at this time, the Meraki VPN is not enabled.
Okay. Sounds good. And I actually have one more question for you here on the mobile app itself. What are the security capabilities for logging into the Meraki Go app? Is there multi-factor authentication, anything like that to help security even a little bit more?
Yeah, so right now, TFA is not enabled, but in the upcoming release, it's in the final stages for going into GA. So two-factor authentication will be enabled very, very soon for the Meraki Go products as an additional security step with login.
All right, excellent. On the sensor side of things, this is actually a good question. Do the water sensor cables only detect water at the end, or does it also sense moisture along the entire length of a cable? And I happen to have one here. It is actually just the end of the cable. There's like a little eraser nub at the bottom here. So the rest of the cable is shielded. It's going to be this tip. If the water passes the bottom of that tip, then that's going to flag the sensor there. So it's not full cable on that one. And for the most part, you'll be mounting these up high so they're not in water. Although this is water protected, if it gets wet, it's not going to ruin it. Let's see here. We'll jump back to Meraki Go here with James. If a customer elects to take advantage of the Cisco umbrella option in Meraki Go, are they billed directly or can it be routed through an MSP partner?
So the way that the Meraki Go optional security subscription works, that's a custom integration that we've done with the Cisco Umbrella team. So billing and everything that you're used to from an Umbrella perspective is going to be totally different. We've really simplified it, and it's going to sit wholeheartedly with the Go product line. So just like you would order a Meraki Go access point or security gateway directly from D&H, you're going to do the same thing with the optional security subscription. You're going to have that option for $120 US MSRP per year, 1, 3, and 5 year options. And so the billing, can still go through a partner if you choose, but it's not going to be set up in an automated billing. It's a paid up front, more so in the licensing model that you're used to with Meraki.
Okay, excellent. Jumping back to Mark real quick on the sensor product, are there any plans for the webhooks on the sensors?
Yeah, just to answer that question, yes, sir. So we have web hooks and APIs built into the sensors for partners to take advantage of. Absolutely.
Beautiful. And we actually saw that in a little bit of the demo clip there. That was entirely API based, where he opened the door, it flagged the camera takes a picture, and there's all sorts of settings you can do with those programming. So that is definitely there. Let's see here. Let me jump back a little bit. I had one more question on the Meraki Go portal. Is there a web portal apart from the mobile app? Can we use a desktop? And kind of to reiterate that, the only web portal you're really going to see is if you're connecting to it locally, and it's just some of those basic settings. So the rest of it's going to be through that application instead. Let's see here.
Yeah, I got two questions for you, Aaron, or two that
Sure,
came
sure.
up I can probably answer.
Perfect.
List price for the MPs was a good one, and I saw another good one, any certification required to sell these. So to your first question, list price on the MT sensors are actually pretty good. So at the MT20, again, all this is list price, not accounting for your partner discount. But the MT20 list price is $249. MT10 is at also is at $249, and the MT12 is at $400. So pretty reasonable prices for sensors. And for Meraki certifications and authorizations, you do need to be a Cisco registered partner to be able to sell the Meraki Enterprise Suite.
Okay. Excellent. Bounce back to Chris real quick. Where can we get a parts list sheet with all the SKUs listed on one sheet?
If you do want that, we can put one together for you. All that information is available on the website, but I know it's not on a single sheet. We can definitely get that for you, not a problem. Just reach out to Cisco support at dnh.com, and we will get that out to you as soon as possible.
Perfect. All righty. I have a question here. I'm not entirely sure if this was related to the sensors or the Meraki Go product. I believe the sensors. Mark or Chris, do you happen to know this? Do the devices support SNMP?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I don't know off the bat,
it.
but I can find out. I don't know if Chris knows.
No, I'm not sure on that one either. I don't think so, but I don't have a positive answer on that.
Okay. All right. So Steve, we'll get back to you on that one. We need to do a little bit of checking. We hadn't quite crossed that on the sensors yet. We just literally got ours this week, so we're digging into them as well. Let's see if sort of summarize this question a little bit. Chris, if I don't expect this to happen because Meraki is doing amazingly well with Cisco, but if Meraki were to shut down, is the product going to shut down as well? What do you think? Is that going to keep working? Is it a similar situation to losing licenses?
Well, since Meraki does require the cloud for management and operation, that in the very unlikely event that would happen, yes, the equipment would not be functional at that point. But remember, you are talking Cisco Meraki. This is not a small company. This is a very large company that is a leader in the industry.
Exactly that. We've seen nothing but growth with the Meraki product line, so I don't expect any chance of that in the near future. Here's actually a good one for you, James. Nowadays that many people are working from home, how can we support many different users at their houses? Should we use Meraki Go or the standard ENT product? Which is going to be a little bit better there, both in terms of price and maybe management?
Yeah, so we see a good amount of home deployments with the Cisco Meraki Enterprise products, but those are larger end home deployments, almost commercial size buildings, if you will, sometimes. And with that price tag of the recurring costs and licensing model, that doesn't necessarily fit everyone's home budget appetite. And so with the work from home motion, we've seen a lot of adoption on the Meraki Go products because it does offer the security backed by Cisco, the cloud management capabilities with support from Meraki. And then from a partner's perspective, perspective, I understand that it might not be the most ideal motion without having a URL-based, dashboard management. But instead of trying to sell a Ferrari to your average Joe, you can try and sell, the lower end sports car. And so with that Meraki Go solution, it's going to really hit and suffice everything they need, managing the access of their internet, controlling the usage on their internet, true security. And then with that, you as a partner have the ability to help and support them remotely, cost effectively through the app, even though it might not be the URL-based management, that you would love to see. So that is there, and we've seen a huge uptick with the work from home motion with the Meraki Go deployments. It's priced well, there's no recurring costs, and it's really going to hit all the check boxes that you need.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's checking those boxes, as you said, and really it's a step above that consumer grade product as well, which you don't necessarily want home business users to be using for their business. That's not a safe way to go forward. So you're getting some of that enterprise security in a very affordable product. I had a great one here, and it just jumped on me. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll take this one. There's a question about availability. As we know, there's constraints on all of IT products. What is stock like direct or through distribution? On the Meraki Go product, Meraki actually stocks that. So unlike a lot of the Cisco product where it's manufactured to order, that is stocked. And then on the Meraki Go, we even carry that at D&H. So it's the one Meraki product that we can keep in our warehouses, and we keep pretty much the whole product line there. So we'll have the 8, 24, and 48 port switches. We have the 2 access points, and we have the security device. And those are typically all in stock at D&H. On the MT sensor side of things, those we're not going to stock at D&H, but they do ship directly from Meraki. We might see some constraints as product is coming out, but our order actually went through very quickly. And we're on the East Coast here. It shipped from an East Coast warehouse, which was recently added too. So we got the product relatively quickly. So I don't expect too much problem there. And overall, Cisco Meraki is really caught up with the COVID backlog. So we're seeing across the board that most products are shipping well now. Let's see. James, do you think we'll have a Meraki Go web-based model coming to that product line?
So it is a very, very heavily requested feature. I personally absolutely understand the need for it, the request for it, the want for it. Some of our larger customers have, 6 48 port switches. And that's not necessarily the most ideal to do on a mobile device, but it's priced appropriately, and it works for what a lot of these customers need. And so as we continue to evolve the product, as we continue to add more robust features that are still not enterprise, but are viable for the small business customer, then the dashboard URL-based management platform is something that we are exploring, and looking at how we can do that the right way to make sure that we hit for MSPs and the likes. So at this time, we do not have one. I wish I could share an ETA, but we are working on it. Make that feature request, make that wish request. It only helps my case with leadership.
Speaking of, I think I have one more that we may want to have some feature requests on. I know you may not be able to fully answer this, but is Meraki Go considering adding camera products to the line?
So I'm the biggest advocate for this one as well. I would love to have more products in the portfolio. Obviously, Meraki Vision is an existing enterprise product, but as I'm sure many of you know, the cost on our cameras is not necessarily the lowest. So as we do continue to grow in the market with the Meraki Go products, product expansion, as you can see with our new IoT sensors, is always top of mind for the organization. So, cameras is one thing that I would love to have, but again, making sure that we do that in the right way, and making sure that we're putting our resources on the right focus. Right now, we're just looking at the core of the network.
All right, sounds good. So partners out there, hit that wish list button on that one. We all want
Definitely.
that. Let's see, we haven't bothered Mark for a while, so we're gonna pull him back in. Do the Meraki Go products support network segmentation, VLANs, that sort of thing?
Yes, they do. They're in a very simple way, but you can definitely segment traffic on the Meraki Go platform.
All right, excellent. And they do have a guest mode on the Wi-Fi, all that sort of stuff, so you can keep your corporate network separate from the guests in your lobby. So that is part of it that's built in there. It's basic, but definitely there. Let's see here. Will we get the NFR discount on Meraki Go? I covered that a little bit before. This one doesn't have an NFR program, so you're not going to do that. But the pricing is exceptionally decent, and you don't have to buy a license with it. So you're buying the hardware, and you get a very good price on that. The one exception might be the umbrella license for the security devices. If you're adding that, I think it may qualify for the NFR. We'll have to check that. And we can check with our Cisco specialists on that. They can confirm pricing. James, back to you. What would be the major difference of the Meraki Go dashboard versus the standard Meraki dashboard?
Well, the number one difference, as so many of you have asked about, is the dashboard. URL-based, web-based management is something that everyone has grown to know and love as the dashboard. Meraki dashboard, that is our enterprise product. So you manage that very granular, much more robust configurations, 6,000 locations, APIs, all of those enterprise type of features, and the dashboard are going to be the fundamental differences. So the dashboard versus a mobile app, and with a mobile app, it is really simple, really easy. It's very user friendly. We don't want you to be able to break it necessarily, without specific intention. So the feature capabilities, that you're going to find on the Meraki Go product line are again built and targeted for the needs of a small business customer, and anybody who has more robust needs, anybody who has multiple sites, anybody who needs site-to-site connectivity, APIs, and things of that enterprise nature. That's very much a Meraki enterprise customer. So the dashboard and the features that are supported on each are going to be the big key differences.
Perfect. Every piece of hardware has its place. We're going to answer one more question here, and then we're pretty much running out of time. So those of you that we didn't quite get to your questions, we will follow up with you if we weren't able to answer in text. The final question here, are there refresh versions of the Meraki equipment? I'll take that one really quick. With the Meraki equipment at this time, there is not. I don't know if that's going to be added in the future or not, but at this point, we haven't seen any of the Meraki equipment in the refresh product line. The standard Cisco side, there is a lot of that, and there's even some that we stock at D&H, but Meraki side, just not quite there yet. All right, so a couple housekeeping notes as we wrap up here. First, thank you very much, James, Mark, and Chris. Really appreciate your information and everything that you put together for this. We have a couple notes here. We do have a Cisco mini site on D&H, so if you want to find specific information, training links, events like this, we post all of that in our Cisco mini site, and even some of the promotions. So if there's a special discount or sale in a given quarter, we try and post those too as we can. So that's dnh.com/Cisco, very easy. If you want to contact us for questions, our go-to email address is ciscospecialist@dnh.com. That hits our sales side of things. If they need to branch it out to the engineers, my team, or someone else, we can do that. But ciscospecialist@dnh.com is a fantastic place to go for that. This video was recorded. We're going to put this on demand within about 24 hours on our website. So again, you can check for that. We didn't really have many slides with this. We might post a slide deck or some other PDFs to go along with that, but the video will certainly be available. Keep an eye out for that on D&H website. And we do have some additional Solutions Lab recordings that are coming up. The dates are to be determined, but keep an eye on the D&H site. We have a Pro AV presentation that's coming up soon. That's a booming market, especially with people working from home and remotely, and even in smaller offices. We're seeing a large growth in Pro AV equipment, and they're going to cover the gamut from Cisco to the third-party products that go with that, and even some alternative products. We are going to have an esports solutions lab after that. And then we are looking at our cloud quarterly podcast or webinar very soon. And they're going to cover a lot of the cloud products. Some of the Cisco stuff has just been added to the cloud product site. So there's a lot of exciting stuff going on there. And it's a very simple way to purchase your Microsoft licensing, Dropbox, Cisco, and several others. We have a lot of product that's going into the cloud marketplace right now. So keep that in mind. Keep an eye on the D&H website. I want to thank everybody again, and then thank you, our partners, for attending. We know that your time is valuable and that you have busy weeks just like we do. We really appreciate you checking in. And then we'll get in touch for 60 winners, and we'll send out steins to you guys. So thanks again. We're going to wrap up now, and have a great weekend.